What is going on, Washington football team fans? It's another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. We're going to dive into this. So, something is overlaying on the screen. Oh well. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to talk about today. This is not going to be a fun video. I'm actually kind of going back to my roots. So if you've never known about this channel for a long period of time, this used to be called Redskins Rant. Where I would come on and rant about my frustrations with my team, my favorite team, the team I love, the team I love my whole life, and running about my frustrations with Kirk Cousins, with the decisions made in the front office, so on and so forth. And I changed the name because basically you get demonetized if you had the word Redskin in your name, so I changed it. But now I feel like I gotta circle back to my roots, because I am going to rant about this team, and I'm going to go in on this team. This team has me beyond pissed off right now. Embarrassed might be a good word. Infuriated. This team has me like just not happy at all with this franchise. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter if we change the GM. It doesn't matter if we change head coach. Stupid shit still happens with this franchise. And what do I mean by stupid shit? We have an ex-GM, emails after he's been gone for over a year. Emails come out and we're having to deal with that crap. We can't handle a ceremony properly. I didn't post this last week because I was very busy, but I actually made a video, and I could not contain myself, like the anger I had in that video. Sean Taylor is the only jersey I've ever had. Washington. The only jersey I've ever had. I have a Terry McLaurin one now, and I might have had an RG3 one for like 30 seconds. But I've had Sean Taylor jersey since we've had him. He's the only player I've consistently had a jersey for. And he was my favorite. Him and Dale Green are my two favorite players of all time for Washington. And my God, how the hell does Washington screw up this? Screw up the ceremony. Me and my wife go to one game a year. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's about a 4-hour drive. Okay? 4 hours, probably about 3.5 there. It's about 4.5 to 5 hours back because of traffic. So we go to one game a year. One freaking game. And the way this all played out, and I hate it so much, is they announced that he's getting his jersey retired 3 days before they retire his fucking jersey. How do you screw that up? He's probably the most beloved player we've had in the past 20 years. Him and Kerrigan are probably the two. Him, Kerrigan, Cooley was up there too. Are probably the most beloved players we've had in the last 30 years, by far. And they screw this up this royally bad. This is horrible. It's just the worst. And then to cap it off, this freaking idiot Jackson Mahomes dancing on the goddamn thing. Is there no security? Is there anything that is associated with Washington that has some semblance of structurally running properly? Is there anything that has to do with this team? Because I'm like beyond with this team. Like I'm over so much of this bullshit with this team. When it comes to dumb things like this. There is no reason in the world why there should be no security around that brand new put down memorial for Sean Taylor. There's no reason for it. Complete nepotism, neglect. I don't know the word. I don't know the word that should be used in this format. I really don't. And it's just so freaking annoying to me, like beyond annoying to me, how we can't seem to get a damn thing right. Okay, so that's structurally what's wrong with Washington. That's a structural thing with Washington. No matter what we do, we still find a way to fuck things up. Things that should be handled so much better. Like that would have been a packed stadium for the most beloved player of the 20th century for Washington. But no, they do it 3 days in advance, or 3 days notice, just to get the heat off their back about their ex-GM sending racist, homophobic shit. Between him and another coach. Like, anyway, moving on from that aspect. I actually am going to do a game film breakdown, a little bit of one. So this may be a longer video than intended. It will be paused at a point because that's where I'm going to, I post the podcast and I can't exactly do a video breakdown as a podcast. It's very difficult. So part of it will be paused so that I can, post part of it, but this will be a 2-part video because one part will be me breaking down this game statistically, analytically, and then backing it up with the game film footage. So if you are listening to this on podcast, you might want to check out the YouTube channel, Washington Football Report, because I'm going to be putting a game film breakdown of what is structurally wrong with this team, schematically, everything. What is wrong with this team and how it needs to be fixed. And here's the thing. I'm Joe Schmo fucking guy who works at Xfinity. I'm an Xfinity manager, and I work a 9 to 5, and I don't coach football. How the hell do I see these issues with the team? And these motherfuckers that get paid millions of dollars every year to do this don't see any of these issues, or at least don't try to fix it. There are structural issues, schematically, personnel-wise, whatever you want to call it. There are just structural issues with this team. And we were told by Ron Rivera that this crap would be different. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We were told that this would be different. We were told that this would be significantly different. And it's not. It's not significantly different. It's the same old, same old. And I wish I could play this. I got suspended from Twitter. Not Theo Riddick. Brian Mitchell posted a nice video, which I'm going to echo a lot of his sentiment. The coaches keep saying we're doing a lot of things right. It's just one tweak here and there. And from week to week, those tweaks are either being made and still failing, or they're not being made at all. And it's either they're making the tweaks and the players are failing to execute those tweaks, or they're just not making those tweaks at all. So either way, it's coaching. You're not making the play, you're not enforcing what you're trying to do, or you're not noticing what's wrong and fixing it. So either way, it's a structural coaching thing. Granted, players still need to play good. And players at some point should watch themselves on film and realize what they're doing wrong. I mean, Chase Young is one example, and I'm going to go in on him whenever I get the chance. He's a prime example of someone who needs to just look at a game film on himself and realize how much he's screwing up. Now, everyone's going to look like, oh, statistically, he did great this week. I don't care about his fucking statistics. I care about on game film what he is schematically doing on film that is affecting our team, period. And he's done it all year, and I will showcase what he's done all year that is the issue with him right now. I'll do that later. That's on the second part of this video. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and go to game statistic breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and go over the defense. First off, the defense slapped Sean Taylor in the face. First half was pretty decent. You held the Kansas City Chiefs to only 10 points. Offense scored 13. Second half was pathetic. You gave him 21 points. I guess ever since Sean Taylor's jersey was retired, we had to give up 21 points just for good measure. I guess that's what it was. And everyone's going to say, like, oh, the defense got 2 turnovers. No, the defense didn't get 2 turnovers. Patrick Mahomes screwed up twice. One wasn't his fault. One, he just tried to make a dumb play, and the ball fluttered up in the air, and the guy intercepted it. Another one was he threw the ball, and the receiver slipped through his fingers and fell into our defender's hands. It's not like our defense was like blitzing him and knocking the ball out of his hands and forcing turnover. It wasn't the case. The one you might be able to say that for the one, because he was trying to throw the ball as we were bringing him down, causing him to throw a bad pass, causing the interception. Okay? So don't sit here and try to tell me that the defense was all of a sudden just so great against this team. Our defense is so great. They gave 109 yards rushing to this team. The team that's 29th in rushing in the league, and they gave 109 yards rushing. Granted, 31 of those yards were Patrick Mahomes scrambling, and I'm going to go over that in the game film breakdown of why he's getting those rushing yards, and this is why other quarterbacks are getting these kind of yards. But the problem with our defense, and I'm going to say this again, and I'll prove it on game film, is one, our defensive line's not bad by any stretch. They're very good at stopping the run. They're okay. They're not getting the quarterback the way they should. And the scheme has not adjusted to that. The scheme is not adjusted to what the defensive line is and is not doing. That's where the problem comes in with Washington's defense. The scheme has not adjusted. The scheme initially was 4 down linemen, go get the quarterback. Play zone. It takes longer for zone plays to develop. We'll get to the quarterback, and we're going to get sacks all day, and they won't have time to throw the ball. Well, what happens when you can't get the quarterback? Now quarterbacks pick us apart. And that's what happened in every single game, is when we don't get the quarterback or are not able to pressure, we get picked apart. And that's what happens. That's what's happened all season long. Okay? We don't play to our strengths. We draft a guy named Jamin Davis who was fast and able to cover and be effective against Kyle Pitts. I mean, he didn't shut down Kyle Pitts, but he was effective against Kyle Pitts. He has good speed. You'll actually see in the game film here, he has great speed. We draft him for those things, then we play a zone. That negates your speed. It negates your ability to actually cover someone one-on-one. That was the point of getting him, was he's able to use his speed to not only cover the field in the run game, but he can also cover someone man-to-man. And if he's playing the run and it's a play action, he can recover quickly because of his speed. That was the point in drafting him. It's because of his athleticism. You play a zone when you don't have athleticism, because you don't have the athleticism, quote-unquote, to cover everyone. That is the point in playing a zone. If I coach basketball and we play a zone, it's got to be a strategic reason for playing that zone. Either A, we don't have the means man-to-man to cover everyone because they're too fast. Okay? Or we're tall, so that plays to our advantage. We're tall. Let's protect the hoop. Force everyone to shoot. Whatever case may be. That's how the defense dictates your strengths and weaknesses. The defense showcases that. If you have good cover corners and you have fast linebackers, with John Bostic in, it made sense to run zone, because John Bostic is slow as a snail. Okay? But it still wasn't working. He still wasn't getting to where he needed to be to cover people, and they picked us apart. And now he's out. We have younger, faster guys in. We have Hudson, Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb. Those are the guys playing now, and you're still running the man-to-man stuff or zone stuff rather than running a lot of man-to-man. So there's one huge issue I'm having with our defense. Second thing, we signed William Jackson III, who is a man-zone one-on-one corner. This is why he is the most penalized player in the NFL right now. He is the most penalized player in the NFL right now because he is used to playing a guy one-on-one and focusing on a guy one-on-one. Instead now, he is covering a zone and focusing his eyes on the quarterback. That's what Ron says he wants. We want everyone's eyes on the quarterback. Okay? So when he goes to make a play on the ball, he's running into the offensive player and getting penalties because he is not aware of where the offensive players are. He's focusing on the ball in his zone. That's why he's getting penalized so much. He's been the most penalized player in the NFL right now because he is not playing to his strengths. He's playing outside of his strengths. He has been handcuffed by this stupid zone scheme, and he is not a zone corner. Josh Norman would be a great one to bring in for this because he is a zone corner. William Jackson III is not a zone corner. He's a man-to-man corner. Kendall Fuller is a slot corner that can play man-to-man on the outside, not a zone corner. We do not have Benjamin Shea-Juice is a big corner. He can play big guys. That's what he is designed to do. That's what he played in college. But for some reason, the arrogance of our coaching staff right now says we're going to do it this way, our way, no matter what the personnel is. Okay, then draft fucking different. Draft for zone. Sign guys that play zone. Don't sign guys and get these big names and get people to jerk off and get hyped up over it and then play them at the exact opposite of what their skill set is. That's the problem right now. And there's also some other huge problems too. Why the fuck is Landon Collins still playing? Why in the hell is Landon Collins still playing, getting minutes on this football team? There is no logical reason. He's slow, he can't cover anyone, and he's not tackling well. He's not tackling well at all. Go back to Cam Curl and Jeremy Reeves. Go back to that. At least that was effective. The turning point of last season, to me, personally, from watching this game, watching this team every single game, the turning point of this season last year was a minute Landon Collins got hurt, our defense became a million times more effective. Because we didn't have a safety that was playing so close to lining up burn all the time. We had a younger safety who was faster, playing more discipline to the scheme. And I really don't know why he's still playing. I get that he's owed money, but if you cut him, even if you cut him now, I'm not saying you have to cut him, but because his veteran leadership is probably a big thing. But if you cut him right now, you're still going to have to own the money you owe him this year anyway. But you have a chance to win if you play someone else, because he's not cutting it. He's not. The whole defense can't tackle. I'm going to go that route first, but Landon Collins was known for being a good box corner that can run up, tackle, play the run game, and was very good in open field making tackles. Okay, that's what he was known for. Okay, he wasn't known for being this great deep coverage corner and safety, and he's always getting beat. I'm not going to get into that aspect of it, but he does not play well and should not be on the field. Okay, he doesn't. It's different if he was like a young player and you're trying to develop him and he was a high draft pick and you're trying to get the most out of a high draft pick and you're trying to develop him into a better one. That makes sense. That's why Chase Young and Montez Sweat aren't going to get benched for doing the things they're doing, because they are high draft picks that they've invested in, and they have talent and they still do some things well, but they're doing just one or two things very bad. This is not that case. This is Landon Collins, who we're stuck with his contract for this year, and for some reason we're playing him. Even if playing him or not, we still need to win games. Maybe this is a master strategy to tank for a quarterback. I have no clue. I really don't think that's the case. But so that's the problems with our defense, and I'm going to show you in game film where our problems in our defense really lie. A lot of it comes to like our pass rush, and I'll get to that when I get to the game film. So that'll be the second in part 2. Now I'm going to go over offense. Now I have to comment on some dumb shit that I've seen on. Hold on. Let me go to team stats with defense. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. So defense gave up 21 first downs. 29 first downs. We only got 15. 17-11, or 11 of 17 on third down conversions. 1 of 2 on fourth downs. That's atrocious. That's like 70%. That's over 60%. It's atrocious. They run 20 more plays than us. We're not going to win any game running getting 20 more plays running than us. Getting off the field on third down has been a thing all year. Now I'm about to talk about the offense, and I'll talk about the offense. I'm not going to leave them unscathed. But there is some drastic differences on what's going on with the defense and what is with the offense. The offense, in my opinion, I think Taylor Heineke's handcuffed, might be the best way to put it. And a lot of people say, like, oh, his arm strength. That's not the issue. His arm strength was never the issue when he won. They always bring it up when he loses. That's not the issue. And people are like, well, his scouting report. Well, that scouting report came out fucking 8 years ago. So you're going to tell me his arm strength has not got any better in 8 years. That's not an excuse to me. I think there's bigger issues than how good or bad Taylor Heineke's playing is not dictating whether we win or lose. Okay, our defense gives up 30 points in 5 straight fucking games. Sorry, 29 against the Giants. My bad. And they would have given up more against the Chargers. Certain circumstances cost them from getting multiple points. They were in the red zone a dozen times, or like 4 times, and didn't score. Because 2 turnovers, okay? 2 turnovers, and they didn't score in the last one because they were milking the clock. So there's 3 potential touchdowns. But let's just say they're 3 field goals. That's 29 points. The defense is not playing up to its stuff. They were the highest rated. They were ranked to be one of the top 2 defenses in this league. And they are playing not even close to that. And it's not that, and this is where I agree with B. Mitch. There's no competition here. There's no competitiveness. Last year we were 7-9, which is not something to write home about. But the biggest issue last year with this team, or biggest thing about this team last year, was they were going to fight, compete, and scrap for that head coach. And it doesn't seem like that anymore. It doesn't seem like that's the mantra anymore. Okay? I don't know what else to say about that aspect. Where we can't have guys that are professional football players being motivated to play football and get out there and just get after it and run the scheme properly. And okay. 390 passing yards, 499 yards of total offense. Probably more than that, but there was a couple sacks in there that lost some yards, so that's why, yeah. Penalties, we didn't really get penalized all that much, no more than they did. They had 3 turnovers, we had 2. They had a fumble loss, we had 2 interceptions. I think, yeah, that's correct. Okay. So, yeah, the defense the things not doing is all things I've said before, not getting off field on third downs. They're not really pressuring any quarterback. And then, like I said, schematically, I'll go over that more in the game film breakdown. So now I'm going to go over the offense. Okay? Now, I'm going to be very clear in this.
We know what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table.
The
question is their defense. 28.
There we go. I don't want to hear. I love you, Stephen A. I don't want to hear you right now. Taylor Heineke is not the issue with this team. He didn't play well. I'm not going to sit there and say he played well. There are a few drops. He also didn't throw some good passes. I'll give him that. But I think there's a grander issue here as to why we're not doing too well. If you look at this game, we were up 13-10 at the halftime. We had 19 total rushes in this game. This game was a close game for the most part of the game. Even all up to the fourth quarter, it was a close game. We were down 17-13 going into the fourth quarter. Okay? Why are we not running the ball more? I should really get a game film from last week where we played the Saints. We had a whole possession where we just ran the ball down their throats, and there's nothing the Saints could do about it. We only got a field goal out of that possession, but the point is we have an offensive line that is pretty decent. I don't think it's that bad. Taylor Heinicke got 0 sacked 0 times this week. Okay, I think our offensive line is pretty good at running the ball. Look at how many yards we got per carry. 4.9. We had to run the ball less than 20 times. We still had almost 100 yards rushing. Okay? There is a fundamental failure as an offense to actually set up your offense. And I'll go over that in the game film breakdown as well. But you have J.D. McKissic averaging almost 6 yards a rush. Tony Gibson's averaging almost 4.5. Jared Patterson gets 1 rush for 5 yards. And you're not running the ball more? The problem with our offense is Taylor Heinicke. Okay, Taylor, I need if I had a break, I'm going to see if they have it breaking down by half. They don't. They're not going to have it on here. They're not going to have it. Okay. I need it broken down by half, but I'm pretty sure Taylor Heinicke.
We know
only
what
threw the
Patrick
ball.
Mahomes brings to the table.
Please stop. There is a lot of there was a lot of pass plays run in the first half. There shouldn't have been. We were running the ball with ease. We were running the ball very well. And the thing is also, Antonio Gibson's a dynamic player. Now, there might be a thing where Antonio Gibson might have been injured. That's possible. I don't know. That doesn't negate the fact that you should be running the ball more. And Jarrett Patterson get the ball more. He's definitely a dynamic player and explosive. J.D. McKissic should get the ball more. Like, how many times does Gibson get the ball thrown to him? 3 times for 0 yards? Why they don't get him, like, out in the middle, like, out down the field or whatever? It's consistently not trying to do these things. It's consistently not trying to get your playmakers the ball the right way. Like, most teams will get their playmakers the ball. Like, there'll be, like, a play-action rollout, and then, like, you have, like, the receiver dragging across the field just to get Terry McLaurin the ball or something. We don't do that. Every Terry McLaurin catch is difficult. Either he's got to have a jump ball with, like, a safety coming to hit him in a corner there, or he's got to do a 5-yard slant into the teeth of a defense. We're going to get him injured. That's what's going to happen. Instead of having some plays where you literally have him, like, just doing something simple to get him the ball. Just something simple to get him the football. That's not happening with this team. I swear to God, I don't think our, and I'm not trying to insult all Washington fans here. There's just a clique of them, a sect of our fandom. I don't think they watch other football games. I don't think they watch other teams play football. The way that you're supposed to run your offense is you do try to get your playmakers the ball, but you manifest plays to get them involved. You manifest plays that are going to get them wide open no matter what. Why is it Washington can't run a proper rubber route, but every other team in the NFL can do it against us? Why is that? It's because we don't practice it, right? It's because we don't have it properly run in our repertoire. The one time we attempted to do it twice, we got 2 penalties on it. Like there's just so many things that are just fundamentally wrong with our offense. And I think it's very simple-minded, and I will say that. And if you're offended by that, piss off. Simple-minded to think that all of it's because of our quarterback. That's not the case. Taylor Heinicke threw for I don't know stats off the top of my head. He threw for tons of yards against the Falcons. He threw for tons of yards against the Giants. So it's not that he can't throw the football. I mean, that's good percentage and 3 touchdowns. And then against the Giants, that's 2 touchdowns, 330 passing yards, and then that's good percentage as well. So he's proven he can throw the football. And I just don't think that the simple-minded approach is to say that he just doesn't have a strong arm and he can't do it. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for Taylor Heinicke to get a 5-year extension to be our franchise quarterback going forward. But he's better than what we had last year. Right now, actually, I'll see if it's available still. Taylor Heinicke's right now projections to project out to the rest of the year. He's projected to get 3,700 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Last year, we had 16 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, and we had like 2,900 passing yards. Okay? Not even close. It's not even close. So, I don't get where people are saying that he's like this horrible quarterback. We can win with him. I just don't think the offensive coordinating is very good, and that's part of what I'm going to go over in my video, my breakdown. But the bigger issues here is you're not getting your playmakers the ball. You're not getting guys the ball in space. You're not finding a way to get guys easy catches and easy looks. You're not. And it doesn't also look like the ball is being spread around very well. Like, I just don't think that I think there's like a fundamental flaw in the way the offensive plays are designed and called. And I'll get to that here in a little bit. Let's look at our team stats for the offense. and then we're going to move on. So 7 of 12 on third down. That's actually not horrible. 50% is not bad. If we're 50% in every game, a lot of our things would be different. Okay, so we didn't do bad on third down conversions. We only had 15 first downs. The biggest issue was like in the second half, like the Chiefs ran like 20 some plays, and we only had like 6 or something by like the fourth quarter or something like that. Total drives, we had 12, they had 11. Our drives, a lot of them were three and outs. Passing yards, we had 182, they had 390. By halftime, they only had about 130. They didn't have that many passing yards. We had, like I said, most of our rushing yards came in the first half. And then penalties. We didn't have bad. I don't think we were bad on penalties. I just think some of those penalties could be avoided by a different scheme because players aren't running into other players. And then time of possession. And you know how bad it had to be that in the first half, we were dominating time of possession so much. In the second half, like literally in the third quarter, we literally only had the ball for like 6 or less than 10 plays. I think it was 9 to be on the dot. I think it was 9. And they gained back so much ground that they only differential of time is 7 minutes. It's not. I don't know. It's just not. It doesn't make it. That shows a lot about our offense, what it was doing in the first half compared to what it was doing in the second half. Like I said, 29 first downs and 15. That's twice as many first downs. That means they're moving the ball. We're not. That means our defense is not getting off the field on third downs. That's what that means. Hence the 11 of 17. And you also got to factor in if you're having 29 first downs and 17 of them or 11 of them on third down, that means you're getting first downs on first and second down as well. So our defense is failing in that aspect as well. And then again, one of them was on fourth down. So one of the first downs is on fourth. So 12 of 29. So that's 17 first downs you're getting that were not on third or fourth down. They're just plays you ran that went for enough to get first downs on first or second down. So there's just huge fundamental issues with Washington. And like I said, I go coaching right now is what can be fixed now. This is where the problem solver in me, what can be fixed.
We know what Patrick Mahomes brings.
Okay, Taylor Heineke cannot be fixed right now. Okay, I think scheme could fix him, which is not really him being fixed. It's just him being unhandcuffed. I think they've reeled him back thinking the defense is going to get better, and it hasn't. What could they do to make Taylor Heineke better? He needs more RPOs. He's a very athletic, fast runner, and I think it keeps the defense honest. And I think it opens up the run game. The problem is our offensive coordinator doesn't like to run the ball, so that's just it's not going to happen that much. But our offensive coordinator does not like to run the ball. That's just fact of the matter. That's not me proclaiming something. It's just fact. Our offensive coordinator does not seem to want to run the ball enough. I think he only runs the ball to keep the other team honest. I think he tries to throw the ball way too much. I think he has Taylor Heineke throwing the ball way too much, and he throws the ball way too early. Doesn't create momentum, and then he's stuck late in the game, not being able to throw because we're down. And at some points, we're actually winning or in the game, and we're still not running the ball. We're still trying to throw our way to victory. I don't get that. So what could be done? They could do RPOs. They can do more rollouts. They could actually not bootlegs. I'm talking about rollouts. There's a difference. When you hike the ball and you run to a side and you might hit someone like a 5-yard out or something. Or you do that and you come back to like a screen or something like that. Something where you can roll out, get him moving because he's athletic. He should get way more scramble yards than he's getting, but somehow they've just told him not to run or something like that. I don't know if they have or have not, but he is a natural runner with the football. He actually is very good with the football, running the ball. He's very fast. He's athletic. He's an athletic enough quarterback that he can do that. What else do I think would help? Easy passes, easy completions. Washington never seems to get an easy completion. Never seems to get an easy 5 yards. All their plays seem like they're just trying the hardest way possible to get baskets. This is the equivalent, or get catches in yards. It's equivalent of last year in the playoffs. If you watch the NBA playoffs, it seemed like as you watched the game, the Milwaukee Bucks consistently were getting easy baskets with putbacks and just having mismatches all over the place. It seemed like they were scoring easier than the Suns. And the reason why the Suns lost is because they were focused so much on one-on-one scoring and having to take more difficult shots. That's what it feels like watching our Washington offense, is we're not getting those easy yards and easy pickups in the passing game the way like other teams do. Okay, we're just not doing it that way. I think Scott Turner needs to watch another offense and just try to mimic their offense, because he's trying to create his own offense, which is not working very well. It's not being effective very well, and it's not being implemented. If it is, it's not being implemented properly, and I don't think it's going to be, because you're not. Every time we try to, like, we get like a second and 2, and I just like hold my breath, because he should easily get 2 more yards, or at least easily get like a 5-yard slant. And there's a way you set up play calling that he doesn't do. What would help our running game? Just volume. Volume. Like literally 94 yards on 19 carries. You scale up Antonio Gibson to 20 carries. He's got 90 or 88 yards if you just scale that up. If you get J.D. McKissic 5 more carries, he's 5.5 or 5. That's another 60 yards. It's more time we possess the ball. It's less time that Patrick Mahomes possesses the ball. Jared Patterson, 5 more carries. That's another 30. That's 30 yards. Like, I don't get how people don't view this and say, like, that's the fundamental issue. And then, obviously, Terry McLaurin's only getting 4 catches. That's not good. J.D. McKissic consistently does well, so I can't say anything about that. Ricky Seals-Jones actually does really well. I can't say anything about that. But we're not getting McLaurin the ball easy. All of his catches, if you look at them, they're like 7 yards. Like, it's like a 3-yard slant and catch it and take a hit. He's not getting. There's no threat for him getting these easy ones. So they're forcing everything over top, and we're not burning everyone else. So I think it's just a conscious effort by the coaching staff, by Scott Turner, to force the issue to McLaurin. And there's easier ways to do this. If you're a quarterback and you're a receiver and you're an offensive coordinator and you have your receiver who's your best player. They're taking away the over top. Okay, they're not taking away the middle. Run a crossing route. Let him cross the defense. He can lose his defender in that. He can catch the ball on the other side on like a rollout or something. Put him in the slot. Very easy to get the ball to your playmaker doing that. To your best player. To your best offensive player. Very easy. Antonio Gibson. Fake a handoff to him. Let him run out and then throw it to him in the flat. Let him run. It doesn't happen though. Why? That's the questions that I have. So, what time are we on here? 32 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't understand why these things are not being done. This is not the same defense we had last year. It's not the same team we had last year. There is a fundamental lack of effort. I don't know the word. I don't want to question grown men and their effort, but that just seems to be like the best way to describe it. So, that's it for this part of the video. This is part 1. If you want to listen to part 2, or you want to watch the game film breakdown, that will be my next video. I'm going to do right into that after this. So I appreciate everyone listening. This has been the Washington Football Report. This has been JD, and hail to the Redskins. See you.